Hi. Well, I was born with this very strange visual condition, which is total color blindness. So as a child, I was never able to distinguish a red from a green, or a green from a violet, or a violet from a blue, because I was seeing everything in black and white. It was as if I was living in a black and white movie. So I wanted to ignore color because I didn't like hearing these colors that I didn't relate to. So as a child, I tried to ignore color, but this was impossible, because when you are in society, color is mentioned almost every day of our lives. So even in very normal things like yellow pages, Bluetooth, Red Cross, orange, it has color elements that reminded me every single day that color existed. It's even in surnames, James Brown, Pink Floyd, things that have nothing to do with color. Even the sweet brownie, it reminded me about the color, so I felt uncommunicated. There's even a whole country called Greenland, which is probably not even green. So I felt very socially excluded. That's why I wanted to perceive color. It's also very annoying when you use color as a code, because you know automatically which one's the hot water and which one's the cold water, but I have to test both waters and wastewater to know which one's which. Also, when you use color as a code, as a map, it can be quite complex. This one's simple, I can follow the lines, but if I go to Tokyo, I can easily get lost. Also, there's a strange situation like this one. So 3 different countries share exactly the same flag, which is very beautiful, but it can be quite confusing. Also, when you use it as a description, if someone asks me, have you seen a man with ginger hair, blue eyes, and dressed in pink? I have no idea. There's no way I can know, because I only know that the man has hair, the man has eyes, and he's not naked, so it's impossible to know. That's why I wanted to perceive color, and I started a project in 2003 with Adam Montandon at Dartington College of Arts. And we created this electronic eye that would allow me to hear colors. So I've been listening to colors through this electronic eye for 9 years continuously, 24 hours a day. And this has given me a new sense. Instead of seeing color, I hear it through bone conduction, and to me each color has a different note. Color is the light frequency, so the chip transposes the light frequency 40 octaves down, so I can hear the actual frequency of the color. So it's not that I chose which colors I wanted to hear, what notes. It's just a frequency transposition. So each color has a note, and I hear it like these sine waves. As you can hear, this is going from F to F sharp. There's like 30 microtones. It's going from red to orange. And it keeps going up and up. So I started with just 6 colors, and then when my brain got used to hearing the main 6 colors, we added more microtones, and then more microtones, and more microtones, until I had 360 different microtones, one for each degree of the color wheel. And now, to me, it's just normal to keep listening to colors wherever I look, because color is everywhere, and I can distinguish the frequency and know if it's a greenish yellow or a turquoise or whatever. Then we added also different saturation levels with Peter Cachet, because color also has different volumes of saturation. So if it's very live color, I hear it in a louder volume than if it's like grayish. So the Eyeborg kept evolving. First I was using headphones, which was very annoying because I couldn't hear people. I could only hear the colors. So one of the things I did was cut the headphones in half, and I could hear color on one side and people on the other side. But this was also not very comfortable. So I also started with a computer, which was 5-kilo computer for 5 years, and then I reduced it to a smaller one, and now it's a chip. The biggest change though was starting to use my bone to hear color. So from 2009 I started using bone conduction, which really helped, because now I can actually differentiate visual sounds which come through bone conduction and audio sounds which come from air conduction. So this is a huge difference. And also now the biggest difference will be this year when I'll have this drilled into the bone. So I'll have like 3 holes. One will be like a mini jack input, so the sound won't be pressuring the bone like now. It will be inside the bone and will give me a bigger difference. And then the antenna will be also in the bone, but it will still be more or less the same, but it will be much more compact. And then the next step is next year, I want to start using my own body energy to charge myself, because now I still have to plug myself every 2 or 3 days, and this is also annoying to depending on electricity. So I want to depend on my own blood circulation, so I can use a turbine on my blood, and then this can charge my chip. So after some time of hearing color, I noticed that I couldn't feel the difference between the software and my brain anymore. I felt that the software had integrated into my brain, and this was noticeable when I started to dream in color, because in my dreams, my brain creates electronic sounds. If I look at the sky in my dreams, my brain creates C# in an electronic sine wave, because the sky usually sounds C#, and if I have many oranges in my dreams, then I hear F#. So my brain creates electronic sounds, and I feel no difference between the cybernetic device and my brain anymore. I feel connected to the cybernetics. I feel cyborg. I feel that the cybernetics and my organism have united, so I really feel related to the word cyborg. And I had a problem in 2004, because I wasn't allowed to renew my passport, because there's a law that says that electronic equipment is not allowed on passport photos. So I told them that what they were seeing was no longer an electronic equipment, but a part of my body, an extension of my senses and an extension of my brain. And I told them that they should allow me to appear with the electronic eye. So after some time, they allowed me, so I appear with the first Eyeborg. I should renew the photo, because it's still the first Eyeborg. This helps in airports, because they have many problems in supermarkets as well, or public places. I'm not allowed in cinemas sometimes, because they think I might be filming, or in casinos they think I might be cheating somehow, I don't know. So, and supermarkets, they think I'm like from another company and just trying to spy them. Yeah. And in Venice they thought I was from Google View, that I was like scanning the city. So passport helps. Now, when I was able to distinguish colors just as well as you, then I just thought, why should I stop? Because there's many more colors that humans cannot see. So I decided to keep extending my color perception, and I added infrared and ultraviolet to the electronic eye. So now I can actually hear the infrared. If there's a space where there's infrared, I can hear it. And sometimes there's shops that you think that they have movement detectors, but they are actually off, and I can hear that they are off, because otherwise I would be hearing infrared. And ultraviolet is good to know if it's a good day or a bad day to sunbathe, because if you hear ultraviolet, then you know it can be dangerous for your skin. So my daily life has changed in many ways. Now I dress in a way that it sounds good. Before I used to dress in a way that maybe it looked good, so now maybe I might not look good, but it sounds good in some occasions. And this, for example, would be dressed in C major. There's 3 different notes. This would be D major, and this would be dressed as a song, because you can actually combine colors in a way. Like this tie is Sega Bodega's electronic music, so I like how it sounds, so I created a tie that sounds just like his music. It sounds like this. So this is my tie, and I can actually. So we are designing a clothes collection where we also creating this someone wearing Moon River as a dress. You might see her around. She's wearing also different colors. It's the song Moon River, and we are creating a different collection of clothes that sounds good. Food has also changed, because now I can also compose music with food, and I eat a song if I want. I can also create a menu of songs, so I can have Imagine by John Lennon as the first plate, and then Lady Gaga as dessert. You can decide depending on, and yeah, you can compose music with different elements. So my experience of going to a supermarket has changed completely, because supermarkets are like nightclubs now. You can just listen to electronic music wherever you go, especially the zone with cleaning products, but you can really just enjoy walking around. I think one of the reasons why they kick me out of supermarkets is because I just walk around supermarkets listening to the music. And yeah, this is a composition with different elements. Also, my experience of art has changed, because now I can go to a museum and listen to a Picasso, to an Andy Warhol. So visual art is music, and this has changed completely the way I perceive not only colors, but daily things like this. Milk is silent. So this is some paintings that you can actually transpose to sound. So the scream actually has sound. You can hear the different microtones. You you can actually distinguish very well an Andy Warhol from Munch or a Picasso, because they sound so different that you can really, Andy Warhol sounds very high usually. So I also perceive people differently. When I look at someone, I can listen to their face. So now what I do is sound portraits. Instead of drawing their face, I write down the different notes and I create sound portraits of people. And one of the interesting things is that we are not black or white. We are all orange. We all share the same hue, but in different light. So it's something that really shocked me. I've never perceived a white skin or a black skin. Black skins are very, very dark orange, and white skins are very, very light orange as well. I started having a secondary effect, which was that when I listened to music, I perceived color as well, because each note is related to a color. So I started to paint music. These are the first 300 notes of Mozart's Queen of the Night, and this is Baby Baby by Justin Bieber, and which is very strange because it's quite pink, so it's coincidence. And then there's also different voices. These are two different speeches, because also voice can be transposed to color. The one on the left is Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, and the other one is Hitler. Hitler is very colorful because he used very different frequencies in just a short sentence. So 3 years ago, I decided to create the Cyborg Foundation, which with Moon Ribas, we decided to create something, or a space where people could become cyborgs. So to help people extend their senses by applying cybernetics to the body. And we've done different projects. Also, it's to defend cyborg rights, like appearing on passports or being allowed into places. And also, we want to promote cyborgism as an art movement and a social movement. We think that many artists can actually experience a lot more and express through new senses if they become cyborgs. And I think it's also a very interesting social movement to stop using technology as a tool and to start using it as a part of the body. So we've started different projects. The internal radar allows her to, for example, detect movement without her eyes. So she has earrings that vibrate whenever there's movement, so she can detect if someone's moving from left to right or from right to left just by sensing it. And depending on the interval, she will know the speed. And also if she turns them round, then she can perceive if there's movement behind. And it's also a very small and simple thing. It's just infrared that vibrates. She also appears on her passport, so she can travel with it if she wants. And then we can also do this 360 perception. So you have a small sensor at the back, and then you can detect if someone gets close or not. So you can actually detect a bit more than just what we have in front, because all of our senses seem to be just focused on what we have in front. We have half of the body dead. There's nothing that we can feel here. So it's interesting just to have a small infrared sensor that vibrates when there's movement, because it can give us a much bigger experience. We have also created earboards, which are electronic eyes, but the other way around, so you can see colors. So you can go to a concert and visualize the frequencies. Or if you're a singer and you want to sing A, you need to sing until you see the color green. And if you want to sing C sharp, you need to sing until you see the color blue. So it can help train yourself as a singer. Also, you can detect pitch of voice and the color of voices live with this earboard. Then we've also done electronic eyes for blind people, which has a completely different effect, because if someone was able to see color when they were a child and now they're blind, then it has an effect of memory. They can regain memory and they can revisualize the colors that they used to see. And then if have red in front of them, then they actually visualize the color red because they remember it. It has a different effect. Then we've also created fingerboards, which has small fingers. This is a boy that came to the foundation. He had one finger missing, so we created a finger with a camera inside so he can actually take pictures and film with his own hand. But we want to explore more, and we want this to have some kind of feedback to his hand so that he can actually extend his senses, because now he's just using the finger as an electronic device. We want it to be more cybernetic so he can extend his senses. There's also the project of the internal compass, which we are working with a girl that wants to have the sense of north. So she will have a small thing here that will vibrate whenever she faces north, and this will give her a better feeling of context. We've also developing teeth that have light. So if you have a tooth that falls, then instead of replacing it with a normal one, you can actually have a tooth with some light in it, so that in case of total darkness, you can just click and then you have some light. So it can be quite useful, and if you want to read at night and you just open your mouth and you can read with your mouth. Then there's also, we've just started this one last month, it's the earthquake sensor, which is, I feel it's very interesting. It's Moon Rivas, she's a choreographer, she's wearing these sensors attached to her body that vibrate whenever there's an earthquake in the earth. So there's, it's connected to online seismographs. So if there's an earthquake in California of 2 in the Richter scale, she feels a small vibration that she knows it's like 2 on the left. And then if there's a 4 Richter scale earthquake in China, she feels a stronger vibration on the right. So she's developing this sense of perceiving earthquakes, which there are some there's earthquakes every 4 or 5 minutes, as small as 1 in the Richter scale. And this is interesting because I think it can actually develop a kind of sense of sensing the pattern of earthquakes, and she might be able to, in the future, also start predicting where the next earthquake will be if she really wears it for a long time. So most of these senses, we see these senses as very normal because we compare ourselves with other animal species. We see that, for example, in my case, perceiving ultraviolet is something normal because many insects and birds can perceive ultraviolet. Having an antenna is not normal for humans, but it's normal in the world because there's many animals that have antennas. Hearing through bone conduction is normal because dolphins can hear through bone conduction. So also having light, internal light, is something that some fishes can do at the bottom of the ocean. So knowing where the north is as well is something that sharks can do. And so we feel that really becoming cyborgs is not actually becoming like a robot, but it's more like becoming an animal. It's actually getting us closer to nature and to the level of perception of other animal species. And we find this very, very natural because it's something that if we compare humans with other animal species, we see that human perception is not very high. And if we start incorporating technology to our body, we might be able to actually awake our senses and perceive reality much better. So I really encourage you to think about which senses you'd like to extend. And I would encourage you to experiment this because we have the great luck of being in this generation that we can actually experience this and we can actually create whatever sense we want. So I really encourage you to extend your senses and think about becoming a cyborg because you won't be alone at all. Thank you very much.